Incontrovertible as adjective. Beyond doubt or question, certain. Undeniable or irrefutable. Not open to dispute or question. The facts were incontrovertible, despite his attempts to argue otherwise. The video provided incontrovertible proof of his guilt. The data showed an incontrovertible correlation between smoking and lung cancer. The argument presented by the defendant was deemed incontrovertible by the judge. The evidence against him was incontrovertible. Deleterious as adjective. Harmful or damaging to someone or something. Having a harmful effect on health, the environment, or a situation. Smoking is known to have deleterious effects on a person's health. The chemicals in the cleaning product were found to be deleterious to the environment. The deleterious impact of climate change on wildlife is becoming increasingly evident. The new policy had a deleterious effect on the company's profits. The deleterious rumors being spread about the actress had a negative impact on her career. Pedantic as adjective. Overly concerned with minor details or minor points of learning, to the extent of being boring or annoying. Showing a great attention to minor details or rules, often to the detriment of overall understanding or enjoyment. The teacher's pedantic approach to grammar made it difficult for students to enjoy the class. The writer's pedantic style made the book seem dry and academic. The lawyer's pedantic arguments failed to persuade the jury. The architect's pedantic obsession with symmetry made the building look sterile and lifeless. The pedantic editor's insistence on using archaic language slowed down the publication process. Furtive as adjective. Being done in a secret, sneaky, or sly manner. He made a furtive glance at his watch, hoping the meeting would end soon. She was furtive in her movements, trying to avoid drawing attention to herself. He had a furtive conversation with the stranger in the corner. The furtive activities of the group were finally exposed by the authorities. The thief made a furtive attempt to steal the purse. Hackneyed as adjective. Dull and boring due to being overused. Lacking in originality. Overused and trite. His hackneyed jokes were met with groans rather than laughter. The writer's use of cliches and hackneyed phrases made the story feel stale and unoriginal. The speech was filled with hackneyed platitudes and lacked any real substance. The movie relied on hackneyed plot devices and failed to offer anything new or interesting. Despite the director's attempts to inject some freshness into the play, the production felt hackneyed and uninspired. Insolent as adjective. Arrogant or haughty. Disrespectful and contemptuous in speech or behavior. The student was expelled for his insolent behavior towards the teacher. The boss reprimanded the employee for his insolent attitude towards customers. The athlete was criticized for his insolent behavior towards the referees. The customer was refused service due to his insolent behavior towards the staff. The politician's insolent remarks caused outrage among the public. Appropriate as adjective. Proper or suitable in the circumstances. Fitting or right. Suitable or fitting for a particular purpose, person, or situation. She wore an appropriate dress for the formal occasion. The music played at the funeral was appropriate and respectful. The book had appropriate content for children of all ages. The teacher selected an appropriate textbook for the course material. The company had an appropriate dress code for the workplace. Imprudent as adjective. Acting or done without caution or careful consideration. Lacking wise judgment or discretion. He made an imprudent decision to invest all his savings in the stock market. It would be imprudent to drive without wearing a seatbelt. The company's imprudent spending habits led to their bankruptcy. He spoke in an imprudent manner, insulting his boss in front of everyone. It was an imprudent move to leave the car unlocked in a high-crime area. Forthright as adjective. Candid, honest and truthful, direct and straightforward in manner or speech. She gave a forthright answer to the interviewer's question. John's forthright approach to business has earned him the trust of his colleagues. The coach appreciated the player's forthright admission of his mistake. The CEO's forthright apology for the company's mistake helped to mitigate the damage. The author's forthright depiction of social issues in his novel earned him critical acclaim. Parsimonious as adjective. Characterized by being frugal or thrifty, avoiding waste or extravagance. Economical or frugal in the use of resources, especially money. The parsimonious landlord refused to make any repairs to the apartment. The company's parsimonious approach to salaries led to high employee turnover. The parsimonious boss wouldn't even let his employees use the company's coffee machine. The miserly old man was known for his parsimonious ways. The parsimonious shopper refused to buy anything that wasn't on sale. Pollyannaish as adjective. Displaying an overly optimistic or hopeful attitude, often disregarding potential challenges or difficulties. Excessively or unrealistically optimistic, especially to the point of naivety or overlooking negative aspects. Despite the challenges, her Pollyannish outlook remained unwavering. His Pollyannish belief in humanity's goodness was endearing. She had a Pollyannish perspective, always seeing the positive side of situations. His Pollyannish attitude was a source of optimism during difficult times. Their plan seemed a bit Pollyannish, overlooking potential obstacles. Derivative as adjective. Not original or creative in nature, but instead based on pre-existing materials. Something that is derived from or based on another source, idea, or work. The movie was criticized for being too derivative of other films in the same genre. The artist's work was dismissed as derivative and lacking in originality. The book's plot was seen as derivative of other popular young adult novels. The product's design was considered derivative of a competitor's. The musical score was criticized for being overly derivative of previous Broadway hits. Impertinent as adjective. Not relevant or appropriate to the subject or matter at hand. Beside the point. Rude or disrespectful in speech or behavior. The student's impertinent behavior in class led to his suspension. The journalist's impertinent questions offended the interviewee. The employee's impertinent remarks to the boss resulted in her termination. The politician's impertinent comments about the opposition caused a backlash. The customer's impertinent behavior towards the staff led to his expulsion from the store.
Obstreperous as adjective. Disorderly or unruly in behavior or conduct. Noisy, boisterous, or rowdy in a disruptive manner. The obstreperous crowd refused to disperse and continued to make noise. The obstreperous child disrupted the entire classroom. The obstreperous customer caused a scene at the restaurant. The obstreperous protesters clashed with police, resulting in several arrests. The obstreperous behavior of the party guests led to the police being called.
Belligerent as adjective. Hostile and aggressive in nature or behavior, relating to or engaged in war or warfare. The belligerent drunkard was causing a disturbance in the bar. The coach criticized the player for his belligerent behavior on and off the field. The country's belligerent stance on territorial disputes led to international condemnation. The student was sent to the principal's office for his belligerent attitude towards the teacher. The party guests were taken aback by the host's belligerent outburst. Intransigent as adjective. Refusing to compromise or make concessions. Unwilling to change one's opinions or positions. Inflexible. The intransigent employee refused to work with the rest of the team on the project. The union was intransigent in its demands for higher wages and better benefits. Despite the evidence against him, the defendant remained intransigent in his plea of innocence. The government's intransigent stance on the issue led to widespread protests. The two countries remained intransigent in their positions, leading to a stalemate in negotiations. Glib as adjective. Fluent and effortless in speech. Superficial or insincere in speech. The politician's glib promises were not backed up by any concrete plans. The salesman was able to use his glib tongue to persuade people to buy his products. The comedian's glib remarks were met with laughter from the audience. The talk show host was known for her glib comments on current events. The student's glib answer to the difficult question was not enough to impress the teacher. Dictatorial as adjective. Characteristic of a dictator or dictatorship, characterized by complete authority and control. Exercising complete power and control in a harsh and authoritarian manner. The CEO was known for his dictatorial management style, making all decisions without consulting his team. The coach's dictatorial approach to training made the athletes fear and resent him. The teacher's dictatorial behavior in the classroom made students feel uncomfortable and intimidated. The country was ruled under a dictatorial regime where human rights were suppressed and freedoms restricted. The director's dictatorial attitude on set caused tension and conflict among the cast and crew. Veritable as adjective, describing something that is true, genuine, or authentic, often with regard to a claim or statement. Used to emphasize the extent or degree of something, often with regard to a quality or attribute. The restaurant serves veritable Italian cuisine. The museum is a veritable treasure trove of art and artifacts. The athlete is a veritable powerhouse, dominating the competition. The writer is a veritable authority on the subject of science fiction. The storm was a veritable disaster for the coastal town. Restive is adjective, being difficult to control or manage, easily agitated or restless, impatient, especially under restraint or delay. The restive crowd refused to disperse. The restive child could not sit still during the class. The restive horse kept bucking and refusing to obey its rider. The restive employee demanded a pay raise. The restive region experienced frequent protests and unrest. Ready to boost your English? Meet our vocabulary app, the fun and effective way to master the language. Books learn advanced words with examples and audio. Direct hit master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Video game enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Glow showing Europe, Africa translate into 100+ languages, all in one app. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.